On March 11th, 2020, the World Health Organization declared the novel coronavirus outbreak to be a pandemic, the first pandemic caused by a coronavirus. This pandemic would go on to hit farm workers and Latinx working families especially hard. A survey by the University of Oregon highlighted the lack of adequate safety measures or conditions to control farm workers' risk of contracting and spreading COVID-19. Despite being well informed about COVID-19 and doing their best to control conditions at home, workers reported that employer demands made it difficult to practice social distancing and other safety measures while at work. Then, in September 2020, again, we were faced with another unprecedented event, the wildfires that set Oregon ablaze. PCUN responded to these challenges by helping secure the Oregon Workers Relief Fund that put money back into the hands of essential workers falling through the cracks of unemployment insurance and COVID federal stimulus support. It helped distribute rapid response PPE to keep our communities safe from COVID. But what is PCUN?
It's building relationships, it's listening to workers and identifying, where we need to go with the vision of PCUN, how we use this amazing tool and resource and organization to try to advance the rights of farm workers and the working class at the intersection of all of these things that we've experienced.
Our Healthy Workplaces team helped with the COVID-19 response by organizing outreach to make sure farm workers had PPE equipment and information and were vaccinated. This included going to work sites, coordinating vaccine sites, and distributing PPE throughout the 2-year pandemic. PCUN's headquarters became an all-out distribution center and hub for our community when they had nowhere else to go. Hundreds of volunteers and donations came through, and our community took care of each other.
We have masks that we're giving out to folks, paper cloth ones, but we also have these ones which are everything, and then we have our drive-through. You can see it's very, very smoky. Earlier, just a couple minutes ago, this was completely full.
In 2021, our members gave us the directive of introducing Oregon's first farm worker overtime bill. While the bill did not pass the first session, we started to lay the foundation for a grassroots legislative campaign that centered Oregon farm workers. Then, on June 26th, in the middle of Oregon's historic heat dome, farm worker Sebastián Francisco Perez died from excessive heat exposure. He was a husband, a son, and a man that came to the United States from Guatemala with the dream of making money to build his wife a house back in his home country. This sparked action amongst workers who said "Ya basta" to unsafe conditions in the fields. It was clear that we needed to regroup, reorganize, and build a winning strategy that centered workers to ensure farm worker overtime passed and to ensure working conditions were suitable for all farm workers during the extreme climate conditions.
Everybody deserves premium pay for overly long work days and weeks at the behest of their employer.
Todos merecen el pago por tiempo extra por los largos días de trabajo y semanas al requerimiento de su empleador.
Oregon Nurses Association could not stand any firmer here next to PCUN and Representative Salinas and Senator Taylor and the Farm Worker Overtime Coalition in insisting we get the overtime laws right this time.
El Sindicato de Enfermeras de Oregon no pudo soportar más firmemente aquí al lado de PCUN, al representante Salinas, al senadora Taylor y la campaña del pago por tiempo extra para trabajadores agrícolas, al insistir que hagamos bien las leyes de tiempos extras esta vez.
With the help and support of our partner organizations like NWJP, the AFL-CIO, and Oregon Law Center, PCUN led the campaign to win House Bill 4002, Oregon's Farm Worker Overtime Bill. This time, we led the coalition to victory with direct actions and mobilizing thousands of voices to come testify in Oregon State Capitol.
Queremos que paguen el tiempo extra. We want farm worker overtime. What do we want? When do we want it? What do we want? When do we want it? What do we want? When do we want it?
Farm worker overtime begins January 2023. We didn't stop there. After months of pressure, organizing, and testimonies, Oregon OSHA finally announced permanent rules to protect all outdoor workers by implementing the strongest heat and smoke rules in the country. And PCUN, with our friends at OCPP, led the statewide effort and passed a bill that now allows all ITIN tax filers in Oregon to qualify for the Earned Income Tax Credit, allowing farm workers and many other immigrant workers across the state filing with ITINs to get access to this life-changing cash credit during tax season. And on the electoral side, we continue to build power for Oregon Latinx Vote. We were able to put not one, but 3 Latinx board members on the Salem-Keizer School Board for the first time in board history: Maria Hinojos Presi, Osvaldo Avila, and Karina Guzman Ortiz. These are the candidates that reflect our communities with commitment to equity, dignity, and respect for all, and the Se Puede spirit of Cesar Chavez and Dolores Huerta. We knocked on 6,139 Latinx voter doors through our fully bilingual and bicultural voter outreach program, and increased the Latinx vote in Salem-Keizer by 2%. When the wildfires surfaced in 2022, PCUN was ready.
So this year we just wrapped up with the wildfires campaign, which was a very successful campaign. And we are still working with distributing PPE. We are still planning to work through December, possibly extending it through March of 2023.
By building and organizing, we have been able to be a resilient community. El pueblo vive y la lucha sigue. The community lives and the movement continues. Tonight, we want to honor everyone who we have lost throughout this movement. Your spirit is alive with us, and together we will continue to fight the fight to end exploitation and ensure every family has access to a better life. Sí se puede!